Hello, this is the RPG Pundit, the final boss in Internet Shitlords, and today is the beginning of a new series. As you can see, we've got Big Chungus here. Yeah, there you go, you know what I'm talking about. This is our favorite old chair. I'm focusing today on Big Chungus only because I'm going to do a little series of short videos where I talk about the different RPG Pundit Presents issues that I've come out with. I figured those are not actually in a book format, so they're on PDF only, except for Star Adventure. I'll do a full review of Star Adventure as soon as I can actually get a physical copy brought into the country. But I wanted to focus on, just doing a little video telling you what each issue is about. So we're starting with number 1, which is DungeonChef. Food is a topic that is very close to Big Chungus' heart, you know. So, in any case, RPG Pundit Presents, for those of you who are not aware, is a weekly series. It was a weekly series. Now I do about one a month of more than 100 now issues of micro source books, you could say. Very short books that have material that is useful for your D&D or OSR game, that some of which are gonzo fantasy, some of which are historical fantasy, some are in between. And they're meant to be a little product that you can get that has something useful, something interesting. And it's also a way that if you want to support me and my channel, you can purchase an RPG Pundit Presents issue. And, it doesn't cost you very much. They vary in cost between 99 cents and maybe $4.99 at the very most. And it's a way to give me a tip, but also get something back. Look at that Chungus, thinking her deep Chungus thoughts. I don't know what she's chunging about, but she's clearly chunging about something. Anyway, so DungeonChef is issue 1 of RPG Pundit Presents. And in this one, it's a 12-page source book. I think it's $2.99, if I'm not mistaken. Originally released by Presses Intermedia, now owned by Spectre Press. And it's a book that contains guidelines and random tables and some interesting rule adjustments for if you want to eat creatures that you run into in your adventures. And kind of the inspiration for this, some very old school players might be familiar with, there was a game called NetHack, which was a very old school computer game. And in NetHack, it was basically a one-man dungeon crawl. You were a character wandering through a huge, randomly determined dungeon. And when you found monsters, you could kill them, you could try to eat them. You could eat them, and if you were running out of rations, this is something that a lot of new school gamers might not be familiar with at all, the very concept, because I've found that a lot of new school gamers, they don't even worry about things like keeping track of food, which it doesn't really help the verisimilitude of the world. In old school gaming, it should matter, if you're out on adventure, where are you getting your food, right? And that's actually should matter in any campaign where it matters that the world be a living world. Right, you got to explain, how are you living, right? It's not a TV show, it's not a novel, it's a world. Anyway, you've got these, food rations, but when they run out, eventually you might have to eat something in the dungeon. And DungeonChef is a guide of different types of common monsters, the effects that you can get from eating them. There's some rules at the beginning about handling food poisoning. And then after that, there's effects of what happens depending on different types of monsters that you eat. And some of them are pretty straightforward, right? Like certain creatures, are... Well, there's also a section on the morality of, eating sentient creatures, because obviously some lawful good characters might not want to do that, right? But besides that, kobolds are poisonous, so you don't want to eat kobolds even if you're starving, right? And this is like a guide to that. The DM can look up the type of creature that some player, either out of hunger or pure curiosity, is trying to eat, and say, well, what'll happen when I do that, right? And there's a few of them that, of course, can have random tables. Like, for example, if there's a random table for the effects of eating slimes, right? Like, let's say you're trying to eat some kind of dungeon slime, that could have some weird effects. And extraplanar creatures even more so. So there's a table for if you're trying to eat an astral creature or trying to eat an extraplanar being. And then there's there's a general table for called What the F Did I Eat, which has weird effects based on having eaten some kind of mystery meat or mystery food in the dungeon. So it's a tiny little thing. It's something that can add a little bit of detail to your game. And I think that it's something that in certain types of campaigns can be very fun. It's got a kind of gonzo element to it because this was this is the start of the gonzo issues, I guess you could say. And yeah, so if you find that interesting, check it out. If you don't, then look up or stay tuned because eventually I'll do more of these videos. You'll find that there's 101 right now, 101 other issues of RPG Pundit Presents that are all very, very different from each other and that you're bound to find something that you like. And the nice part about this series is as I keep making them, you're going to get to keep seeing more of... this is the first time I've intentionally filmed... Uh-oh, she's not happy with that. Big Chungus is not pleased at being used for marketing, is she? Are you happy with this, Chungus? She looks forlorn. I'm sorry, but we gotta sell the product here. That product goes to your kibbles. Don't turn away from me. Hey. This is on you too. You're part of the team. Be a productive member of the team. All right? Look at that little foot. Well, that enormous foot, actually. All right, guys. I guess that's everything for today, so subscribe to the channel. If this is the first time you've been on the channel, check out my other videos. Most of them are not meant to be infomercials like this one, so you'll find some on interesting topics. It's also been a slow news week. The SJWs have been, I guess, busy with other stuff, and they haven't done anything outrageous in the world of gaming. If you hear about anything outrageous in the world of gaming that they've done, please let me know. Also, please let me know if you're interested in my new project, the upcoming game I'm going to be making. I might do a live stream really soon where I talk more about it. The new occult modern RPG that the same way Lion and Dragon used real magic, that's in real magic is how people in history understood it to work, to do the medieval game. Well, this game I'm going to be making, that's going to be called The Invisible College, is about a secret society of real magicians, and it uses a whole bunch of stuff in its magic system based on real magic. And if you're interested, if you're an OSR publisher especially, because I've gotten some interesting proposals for publishing it from people who are not OSR publishers, and I know that there's a lot of people right now that in the OSR field that are having a bit of trouble. But if you're an OSR publisher and you're interested in potentially publishing The Invisible College, let me know. I'm still getting... I'm finishing the last proofreading of the first draft, and when that's done, I'm going to decide one way or the other. And there is a very interesting option in terms of a company that hasn't until now published RPG stuff, but that wants to. So I might just go with that. Anyway, that's everything for today. From me and Big Chungus, we're going to say goodbye to you. And feel free to share this video anywhere you like, subscribe to the channel, and check out all of the Pundit Presents issues and any of my other products, my physical books, like the Old School Companion, which is the first compilation volume of Pundit Presents, and you'll see some of the issues on that too. Currently smoking Stanwell Deluxe plus Argento Natural.